It's the Jim and Terry Show, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, as much as two old guys with a coffee can get in the morning. Okay, poke Jim with a stick and make sure he's active and engaged.
I'm here.
You're here. We're going to talk about something controversial because we are age and stage where legacy media is important. And so I don't know about you, but I prefer the newspaper. I still pick up the occasional copy from the grocery store as I'm checking out.
Christina does too. She gets the Saturday Star every day.
Isn't
every
that
Saturday,
great?
Yeah.
So I like the texture. I like opening the paper.
$6.75 now to get that paper when I remember when there were 10 cents.
We're dating ourselves.
Aren't we?
But let's just say that we prefer to read about news and we have trusted sources. We know, for instance, that in the print media of Toronto, that the Globe and Mail is right of center, that the National Post is more right, that the Toronto Sun is even more right than right. So that's three papers I've just listed on the conservative side of things. And then on
the Star.
And the other side, I don't know even if I would say that they're left. They're sort of in the center. That's how far things have moved to the shift to the right, which is a sign of the times. But in terms of media, and I already quoted this statistic and I looked at it again, about 85% of Canada's media is owned by an American conservative consortium. So that means investment groups. Most of them are conservatives, but there's, like 15% maybe that's not.
Maybe that's why they just didn't see the same things as an uneducated Jim could see.
Okay, you are referring to what specifically? Because I looked at the National Post, Globe and Mail, I've looked at the Toronto Star and looked at the headlines, looked at CBC, NBC, MS Now, and whatever else is going on, to look at the headlines. And if you use Ground News, and we don't get paid for this plug, but Ground News shows you...
How about paying us, Ground News?
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice if we got a... Well, just give us a free subscription so we can check these things out. Well, I gave up I tried it for a year, and I gave it up just to try to curb expenses, but it wasn't that much, but I thought, I got to start somewhere. So I limited Ground News, figuring I can do my own research, which, it's just affirming my own strategies on how I investigate news sources. So Ground News, left, center, right, calls it all out and shows you the headlines, and you can look at it. And it's obvious that somebody's dropping the ball, and you can...
Unbelievably.
What did you say? Did you say not one said...
Not one that I that I saw. And here's what we're talking about, folks. And again, you got to observe and you got to look past the fluff of things. Trump basically said to the legal establishment, I'm above you. But he really definitely turned around and pointed at his vice president and the
Mike Johnson,
Speaker of the House,
yeah.
and said, I do not need congressional approval on anything. He was mad. So let me translate that for you. He's boldly stating in that address that I am it.
He's the law.
I am the law. I am everything you're going to need. I am the dictator. And that's what he stated. Now, I didn't understand. I was waiting for all kinds of, reaction to that.
Somebody please erupt. Yeah, get up out of your seats and walk out.
Yeah, he just said he doesn't need congressional thank you, approval. Now, put ourselves into modern time, Terry. He's got probably the biggest military buildup since what? I don't know. Since ever.
Since World War II,
yeah,
for sure.
Out there. And it's him who makes the decision to say go. Where even the Iraq War had to go through Congress and meetings and discussions and had to bring proof forward, which was a lie, but all that stuff to come forward to justify that war. But in Trump's world, he just simply says, go, raid Venezuela.
Okay, so
get me the oil.
Speaking about Venezuela then, there was an award given to the pilot of a Chinook, the troop carrier, on that raid. I'm wondering if that is Trump saying, I'm awarding a medal for something I did to this guy.
Well, what it does state is, remember all the problems with people saying you have the right to refuse to obey.
Yes, the six senators.
Yeah, isn't that a poke in their eye?
Yes, it is.
You obeyed me.
Yep.
Not the law. You obeyed me. Because what they did is they just went in and kidnapped the leader of another country.
Which apparently is okay.
Up to him. And the same thing
And
with
I'll
me.
give you a medal for doing it.
Well, if he attacks Iran, it isn't going to be, I don't think, like the last one, which he lied about.
Yes.
When he said he totally annihilated their nuclear ability.
Sent them back to the Stone Ages or some other hyperbole.
It's never going to rise up ever again. Look how great I am. 6 months later, we have to go after them because we got to make sure they don't have nuclear weapons. So now they're at the point where they're right on the edge of being able to deliver a nuclear weapon, never mind just making one or testing one. So with this, the Iranians are way smaller military-wise, but I warn you, they've had 1,000 years minimum of battling off nations, and fighting. They're a resilient people. And if you think you're going to get out of there again with no American casualties, I think you're kidding yourself. And what my major concern is this. Iran and Russia, they're together. They like each other. Russia has the supersonic missiles. And those supersonic missiles, according to the last I heard, there is no defense against. They're here before you can know they're coming. So imagine if they aimed 3 of those supersonic missiles.
Took out an aircraft carrier.
At an aircraft carrier, 1, 2, or all 3. You got 30,000 people dead in a blink, and you've also got hundreds of billions of dollars in hardware at the bottom of the ocean. So I don't know if they can do that. I have no idea. But I do believe that there's going to be casualties on the American side. If they start a war.
Well, do you think...
let the people down because he said to them, keep protesting, and 30,000 of them are now dead because Trump shot off his stupid mouth.
Yep, unbelievable. Let's go back to the media and headlines that were not said, because we are doing what we've argued, and I've argued for 8 years since Trump 1.0, that we've normalized it. We've normalized the crazy man in the office. We've normalized the king who has no clothes. We've normalized the whole idea that a corrupt individual, as corrupt, he said he would drain the swamp. He is the swamp.
That's right.
It is an old boys network of wealth and broligarchs and billionaires who all seem to be in cahoots, and I don't see many headlines screaming it from the rooftops.
Just imagine 25 years ago, but let's go back 50. If there was a pedophile ring, worldwide pedophile ring, and the President of the United States said, no, we're not going to investigate that, when the ground zero is right in the United States, heads would roll all over the place. The president would be impeached. It would just be the way it is. Now, everybody, just think of it. There's 1,200 victims, and nobody's arrested at being the perpetrator or the rapist. None of them. They're all going free as we stand right now. And the DOJ is covering it up. So is the CIA covering it up, and that other dingbat that's a part of the... all of them are covering it up. And it's unconscionable. You cannot grasp that level of superior corruption going unpunished. Who would ever have thought?
Okay, punishment comes after the fact that it's revealed, and my concern about the media is everybody's kowtowed to the orange Jesus, and they're not shouting it every day. It should be the headlines, release the Epstein files.
Yeah,
every day it should be accused pedophile is in the office. And you can use the word allegedly until you put the trial on, but for God's sake, don't call it. That was a wonderful State of the Union. I'm surprised that Trump really carried on quite well. Shut that.
He carried on quite well by announcing to the United States that you now have a dictator.
And talking about his, let's nail it down to some things that are provable and measurable. His one big bill is a tax break for the wealthy. It does nothing. It's compromise. He's cut off Medicare, Medicaid.
Look at this. This one's even bigger. Of all the people there, of all the people in the United States, all of you dumbasses.
Ooh.
Tariffs are a tax on you. They're not being paid by the other countries.
And he didn't say that.
It's a tax. And nobody will stand up and say flat out. He's still saying that the other countries are going to pay.
Tax the rich.
Yeah.
The Jim and Terry Show. It's complicated.
Katie,
Bye-bye.
this relationship I have with my